Hey guys, okay, here we go. Breeding, simple. I'm going to show you guys. So I've bred a whole bunch of my rock drakes already so that we don't have to sit here and go through eggs and find what we need. In this giant, massive group of what I have here, there is one of the mutations that I'm looking for. I've already run it through the incubator. Everything's ready to go so that we can sort of streamline this a little bit. So I went and found a whole bunch of eggs. I found tons of eggs. I don't know how many I found. Lots and lots and lots and lots. What it resulted in, these were the two best ones that I found. So I believe the female had decent health. Yeah, 8,000 health. Kind of what I was looking for. Best I found. So I kept her. This male had 442 melee damage. Best I found. So I kept him. This is where I started at. Right? Wild ancestors. No levels or anything like that. They're both level 190 eggs. Lucky me. So I took these two with the health and the melee that I wanted, and I bred them together. And I bred them together a whole bunch of times until I got something that had both of those stats on it. So I'm not sure which one of these females it was, but it was one of these female rock drakes. 8k health, 442 melee. And then I bred them together some more. And some more and some more and some more. And I got this male over here, which I've named Cleaner. And I will explain the point of that in a little bit. Who also had 8k health, 442 melee, same level, 203. So the same level is important, I think. Some people may not care about it. I think it's important. But once I had the male and the female, both level 203, exactly the same stats, no imprint, no levels added. I bred them together a whole bunch of times, and I ended up, or until I had 10 females. So now I have 10 female rock drakes, all level 203, all exactly the same stats, no imprints, no levels added. And this is my setup now. So I'm at 3 melee mutes and 3 health mutes. I breed them one after the other until I get one of each, and then I move on to my next, whatever it is. I have 4 things I'm breeding at the moment. So I guess an important point is, once you have these 10 females, the breeders, you never change them out for anything. You never add points. You never you don't want to imprint anything in your breeding line. If you want to use some of your mutated dinos to go fight a boss or something like that, you breed separate ones. You take them out of they're not part of the breeding pool. And you can imprint them, add levels, whatever. All of your breeders you want to leave at their base stats, so that you can track their stats. So yeah, no imprinting, no adding levels to your breeders. Once you have these 10 females, you will keep them until you are done breeding these dinos. Until you get as many mutations as you figure is enough, then you can put those females away. But they never get swapped out. They stay. They're constant. The males are the only ones that get changed out, and that is so that we can stack all of our mutations on one side. Always on the male side. See, none from the female side, and that just allows you to keep or to get as many as many chances at a mutation as you can. If you stack them on the female side, you could only use one female. You'd get one egg every time you breed. Your chances are pretty low of getting a mutation, let alone the mutation you want. So when I started this before Gen 2 with the breeding interval buff, I would hatch 40 Rex eggs at a time. Every, whatever it was, 2 hours, I think is what our server's set at. Every 2 hours I would hatch 40 eggs, hoping for the mutation that I wanted. So I think that kind of covers the basic bits. We're going to crack open some eggs until we find the one. Or yeah, we're going to fire some eggs into the incubator until we find the one. I know there's already one. I've already done all this kind of like prep work. There's one in my inventory that is the mutation we're looking for. When we find that, I'll show you kind of the next steps. I am in admin mode. I'm going to be using a couple admin things just to keep the video short and sweet. But yeah, this is my breeding setup. They just drop the eggs so I can run underneath them without having to dodge tails. Pretty basic setup for anything that's kind of a pain to get the eggs out of. So yeah, let's crack some eggs. So over at your incubator, you can do 10 at a time. This is why I have 10 females. I can throw 10 in. We go in here. So every time you get a mutation, before we start looking at this stuff, every time you get a mutation, all of my females are level 203. You can see my males are 209. Every time you get a mutation of any sort, the level of the dino will go up by two levels. Every time you get a mutation, you will always get a stat mutation and a color mutation. There's no such thing as having, oh, I've got a color mute. Somewhere associated with that color mute is a stat mute. It might be a movement speed stat mutation, so you don't actually see any change in the stats of the dino, but there is always a stat and a color together. Sometimes you'll see a stat go up, the colors won't change. That's because the color mute is on a region of the dino that you cannot see. It doesn't get colored. It doesn't have it for whatever reason. So every time you get a mutation, the level of the dinosaur will go up by 2. So I know that right now on these eggs that I'm looking for, I am looking for a level 211 egg. Anything that's not 211, garbage. Chuck it. The other thing that'll happen is you'll see, I'll use my admin rifle, the base stats there at the top are the points in it. So the 203s have 43 points in melee damage. That's where we started at. If I go up here to my male, he has 49. So every time you get a mutation, a stat mutation, the points in the stat that mutated will go up by 2. You guys will be able to see the points using the egg incubator. So we know that we are looking for a 211 egg with 51 points in melee damage. So we come over here and we simply look at each of these eggs. 209. And if it's not what we need, the egg incubator makes life so much easier. Before they had this, you had to hatch every egg and then kill everything, by hand if it didn't have the stat that you want. This way, you don't even have to wait for the eggs to hatch. You just chuck them. Just chuck them. And that's, I don't know. I've talked to some people, for whatever reason, they feel bad breaking the eggs and killing baby dinos, but at the end of the day, it's a video game and you're breeding for the sole purpose of getting better stats. So if it's garbage, it's garbage. Chuck it. So again, we'll just keep checking eggs until we find a 211. And I really hope that I don't screw this up and accidentally break the wrong egg, because then all of this would be for naught again, and I would probably give up on trying to make breeding tutorial videos, because this is the second or third one I've tried and I keep screwing up because I'm not a tech whiz by any means. Not my forte. 203, 209, 209, 203, 209, 209. It's another group. And so I can tell you, I don't know, it didn't take me very long. I've been sitting here for about half an hour and I went through probably about 100 eggs. Just doing exactly what you see me doing here, but instead of having an inventory full, I had 10 at a time. I'd come over here, put them in. Yeah. Break the ones that I don't want. So 209, 209. No more good ones again. We're getting near the end, so I feel like we got to be close here. Unless I screwed up somehow, which wouldn't surprise me. I'm quite tired. I don't know why I keep exiting that before I put the next round in. So 203, 203, 209, 209, 209, 203, 209, 205. 205 looks like it's got a cool color, but we're not breeding for different colors right now. We are just trying to get the stats up. I don't even know why I'm breeding rock drakes. I think just because they were it was kind of a new thing, so I decided I had some time. Why not see what we can do with them? I'm really hoping that my wife and kids also don't come home during the middle of the stream, because then I'll have to cut it short. And once again, I will probably give up on making a tutorial video, and I'll just teach people as they ask me on Discord or whatever. Alright, so we only got one more round, so it's got to be in this last round. I'm sure it must be. It must be. I'll be very sad if I somehow, after doing the prep work for this, still manage to screw it up. So ideally, you want to get a male when you do this. When you find your 211, or whatever the number is that you're... So there it is right there. No, that's the wrong one. That's a 211, but it still only has 49 points in melee. So this mutated something else. What did it mutate? Let's look at a 209. So there's a 209. So 43 health, 28 stam, 43 health, 28 stam, 37 weight, 49, 37, 49, 23, 28. So this got an oxygen mute. You can see there the oxygen's at 25, and on our 209 baby, the oxygen's at 23. So that stat went up by 2 points. I hope that kind of makes sense. So yes, it's a new mutation, not the mutation we're looking for. We are looking for a 211 with 51 points in melee. That one right there. So this female has level 211, 51 points in melee, compared to our 209 that had, where's the 209? 49 points in melee. So, slot 9. Slot 9 is the only one I need to keep out of this bundle. I don't need an oxygen mute, so we will break that egg as well. And slot 10. So now we kind of got to wait. It doesn't take very long. Actually, maybe we'll do it this way, just to speed up the video. So we know this is our mutated dino. I got air conditioners in the base, I think, still. Run over here. Yeah, there's air conditioners under the floor in here. We will drop that egg like that, and then we will simply go, just for the point of the video, I do not do this. I usually leave them in the incubator and go on to my next set that I need. Hatch egg. Imprint. So that's it. We have now, I meant to change its name, melee mute full. And you can label them however you want. I just use this for, yeah, this is just how I do it. You do you, however you want. So this is melee mute 4. It's a female. So I'm gonna just take it outside here. We're going to put her here because I'm going to need her here anyways. So I'll show you. You do not want to imprint it. 4 random mutations on the patrilineal side. So that means it got the mutation from its dad that already had the other 3 mutations. It could have 1 over here and 3 over here. All good. What we want to do though is we need a male. We can't use this female in our breeding, right? So again, just for the purpose of the video, we're going to grow this girl up like that. And we are going to, so now, in order to get a male with those 4 mutations on the patrilineal side, well, they're already on the patrilineal side. They're going to swap to the matrilineal side when I get a new male. That male is going to go into the breeding pit. The babies from it will have all the mutations stacked back on the male side. So we take our clean male. This is our clean male from the original breeding group, right? 0 mutations, 0 mutations. Level 203 with 8,000 health and 442% melee damage. I call them cleaners. This is simply just my labeling system. You do not have, you do, excuse me, sorry, you do you. So we're going to breed these 2 together until we get an egg that's a male. Then that egg will go over to the incubator, we'll fire it in there. I'll hatch it off out of the video, we won't need that. But that male from that egg will become my new melee mutation breeder in the breeding circle. So hopefully this kind of clears things up. I kind of streamlined it a little bit, but the basic thing is go out, tame a whole bunch of dinos. Lots of guys just go get their 1 male, 1 female, and that works too. You can do that. Get your 1 male, get your 1 female, breed them together till you get their combined stats. But I think it's important that you have the same level for all your breeders that you start off with, the same level, same stats, so that you can track your mutations easier. It's just part of my OCD, I suppose you could say. I can show you, like, for my gigas, actually that's not a good example. Let's go back over here to the rock drakes. So I have a health mutation male, a melee mutation male. I split all of my fridges into things like this, where I have my OG breeders, which are out right now because I started the video with them. My melee mutations go into this folder. Health mutations go into this folder. Keep everything separate. Keep all of your mutated males and or females that you get from breeding. Don't chuck them out. Don't kill them off. You might need them. You might do something wrong. You might lose a dino. You know, it might starve or whatever. So if you keep those in your cryo fridge, you can go back and restart again. You know, lots of people, oh, I got my mutation, I'll kill this old one, and then something happens and they basically have to start over again. You know, my Rex. So this is my melee Rex cryo fridge. These are all the different melee mutes that I have. I think it's all of them. I might have some more of those somewhere too. And this is my health mutation cryo fridge. So I've kept all the Rexes, male or female, that came out with the mutation that I wanted. This is something new that I've done, but I've actually bred my clean male with the clean females, and I know these eggs are all males. I threw them in the incubator. I know they're males, just as backups for my cleaners in case one of them starves to death and I lose it, or you know, or Ark does Ark and you get a glitch and you lose for whatever reason a dino. You got, I don't know, I like having backups on backups kind of deal. So we've got our egg. We'll run it over here to the incubator, and I'm using these incubators because they're set temperature wise for the rock drakes. You get that little egg boost, whatever it is. So we got a male. So there it is, 211 male, 4 mutations, 51 points in melee. We're done. That egg will mature, I'll hatch it, I'll grow it up, and it will assume its position up here as my new breeder. Melee Mute 3 will go into the fridge, and that's that. Oh. So obviously, in breeding, if you're serious about breeding, I would suggest setting up a base on Gen 2. You have the buffs. Tech tier is relatively easy to attain, so you can get some of this more advanced stuff like the egg incubators and things like that. So we go into the cryo fridge, we open up our melee, we throw that guy in there. That's done. I can go up here, grab this guy, because we know we're done with him. Chuck him in the fridge. The other thing I would suggest to do, because it hurts my soul when it used to happen to me, is all my females. Go in here, behavior. They're all passive, obviously. They're all changed to ignore group whistles. So if I accidentally whistle, or if I had a trimate, which I don't anymore, if they accidentally whistle, none of them will move because they're all set up pretty nice. They drop, most of the time they drop their eggs right through the little gap, and I just got to run around and pick them up with little to no problem. Whistle all is a terrible command. I wish it wasn't even in the game, but when that happens and you have things set up like this, it makes you want to quit breeding. In my opinion, it makes me want to quit breeding. That's for sure. Because it took forever to set up some of these things so that we can breed efficiently and effectively. But yeah, so I guess I could show you. So here we've got 22 random mutations from the mum side. So when you get this high, I can now only get new mutations from the mum. The males are 20 or over, 20 of 20. You cannot get a new mutation from that parent. So the mums, because they have 0 and 0, are the only ones that can give me a new mutation on my Rexes. So my chances are now cut in half. I have to crack a whole ton of eggs most of the time to get a new mutation, health or melee on these guys. But yeah, it's just a slower process. It still works the same. If you get a male, he becomes your breeder. He'll have that 21 or 22 or whatever it is, whatever the number is on his side. If you get a female, you breed it with your clean Rex. That stacks all the mutations together. You breed them until you get a male. That male then becomes your breeder. It's exactly the same process once you get to 20 of 20. It's just slower because your chances are now cut in half. You can only get a new mutation from the mum side. And you can see I'm pretty proud of my Rexes. 883 melee damage they're hatching with, and I think 22,000 health. Yeah, 22,000 health they hatch with. So they're pretty, I've put a lot of work into them. I started them before Gen 2 came out, so it was a very long process of hatching 40 eggs every couple of hours to get a mutation and kill all the babies and eat all the babies' bodies so there wasn't a giant mess. Gen 2 makes life for a breeder so much easier. But yeah, so that's how I breed. I don't know if it's 100% right. There's mutagen and mutagel and all that crap that you can get 5 free mutations from. I haven't played around with it. I don't use it. I just breed them from the stats I got up, and then our server's boosted anyways. It's not, game changing to have those 5 extra levels or whatever it is that the mutagen or mutagel gives you. So yeah, that's breeding for or how I do it. That's what I think the most efficient way is. If any of the people on Volantis have questions, you can message me. I'll do my best to help you out and answer you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If anybody from outside of Volantis sees it and wants to come check it out, we're Volantis PS4 3 times taming harvesting server. You're more than welcome to come and join us. So, thanks everybody. I will see you out there.